Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's planning committee on Tuesday, the 21st of June 2022. First item on the agenda is apologies for absence. I have the mayor, who's the chairman. I apologise next time in the chair this evening. Do you have anybody else?
Councillor Ian Clark.
And Councillor Ian Clark. Has anybody got any news on the end of? No?
Okay.
So I'll try and contact him. Nothing else. Declaration of interest. I'm going to, I'm not sure that the right word is that non-pecuniary interest on P22/S2142/HH on 9 Gravel Hill, number 11 Gravel Hill, is owned by the Henley Housing Trust, which I am chairman of. I'll carry on chairing the meeting, but I won't be taking part in any of the debate that takes place, if everybody's happy with that.
Yeah, and we could send you outside.
It's not
Councillor
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if I should declare an interest because I used to own number 11, but it's only that in as much as I've got information on it, you know, and what it's like, but I don't have any current interest in it.
Oh, that's fine, thank you. Anybody else have any interest in any item on the agenda?
Sorry.
No, okay. Item 3, to approve the minutes of the meeting on the 31st of May 2022. Proposal, Councillor Roman, seconded by Councillor Gabachak. All in favour of those? Thank you. Item 4, public participation. Normally have 20 minutes of public participation. If anybody would like to either speak or ask a question on the agenda, they're more than welcome to, and you have 3 minutes to put forward what you wish to say. Gentleman at the back.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair and committee members. We're Mike and Rachel Fuller. We live at 34A Belview Road. We're here to speak in support of our application P22/S1973 Land at Peppard Lane. We moved to Henley last summer with our 2 children, Charles and Harriet, when Rachel accepted the teacher training post at South Oxfordshire Council. She's finished her training. We're renting on Belview Road, where we've enjoyed a warm welcome from the community. We love where we live and we want to put down some roots. There's a limited supply of housing for sale in Henley. And at the beginning of the year, we therefore started exploring the possibility of building our own house, as I'm an architect. I approached the owner of Leddard, who at the time was exploring the planning potential of his garden. We established a working relationship, which has resulted in the proposals you see before you tonight. We're proposing a family home. The plot is 750 square metres in size, and this represents a small percentage of the host property's surface. The proposals comprise a 2-storey contemporary zero-carbon house with a wildflower green roof. The footprint is a modest 120 square metres, and this occupies just 16% of the plot area. The proposals are in keeping with the established ongoing pattern of infill development at Peppard Lane. There's a mix of architectural forms, modern, traditional, and no discernible building line. Great care has been taken to come up with a design that respects the characteristics of the site, the location and situation of the surrounding properties, Leddard, Alameda, Leddard Cottage, Glass House, 10A Rotherfield Road. We've consulted neighbours. The proposals have been warmly welcomed, with one comment on SODC's website. That relates to screening predominantly at the front. There is a requirement of the ecological report to supplement planting on site, and this can be dealt with by a planning condition. We've commissioned an arboricultural consultant to ensure the trees are not compromised. The arboricultural character of the site is respected and maintained, and that the proposals sit harmoniously with the green environment going forward. We've commissioned an ecologist to ensure no habitats are affected and the proposals provide net ecological gain. We've commissioned a sustainability expert to ensure the proposals are zero carbon in excess of local authority requirements. And we've commissioned a high-risk consultant to ensure the site can be safely accessed to service from Peppard Lane. We've also commissioned a local planning consultant to ensure the proposals are in full compliance with South Oxfordshire Local Plan 2035 and the Neighbourhood Plan. It's believed the proposals truly represent a highly sustainable form of development upon a suitable infill plot within the built-up area of Henley on Thames, and it's believed the proposals preserve and enhance the character, arboriculture and ecology of the site, and they respect the surrounding neighbouring properties and streetscape. Proposals can be built to exemplary standards using a palette of high-quality materials to provide a home for our family and community we already live in. Thank you for allowing me to introduce ourselves and explain it.
Okay, thank you. Question, Councillor Gavesha.
Yes, thank you for your presentation, and it sounds as though you ticked a lot of boxes, which not to preview any decisions. Just a question, the neighbour who put to comment on the SODC plan, you already referred to it, but there were two aspects to it. It was planting in front of the proposed new house, but also the cladding of the house, or it was almost implied, I think, and said if it was white rendered, it would stand out. So just I invite you to comment on that visually looking in. What would it look like?
I think we had proposed an off-white render because that complements the glass house, which is immediately downhill on Peppard Lane. And then we proposed brickwork to match Leadard and Leadard Cottage, and then timber cladding because that fits with the cultural character of the site. So we picked a small palette of materials to mirror and to match what's in the surroundings. We're not proposing a bright white render. It could be an off-white render with a hint of grey to it to complement the grey windows.
Can you just comment on the?
Excuse me, Councillor Gavin, can you talk through the chair?
Oh yes, sorry, Chair. With your permission, thank you. Yeah, the planting in front of the new house. Just talk us through a bit of that, please. With the Chair's permission.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
There is an ecological report to accompany the application.
Did you speak to the Chair?
Sorry, there's an ecology report to accompany the application, and part of the ecology report is about creating a net ecological gain to the site. So not affecting any existing habitats. There's no key existing habitats on the site. But also to bring in native planting and species-rich native planting, and to turn the front area in between the property and Peppard Lane into a woodland garden, which is very different in nature to the back garden, which has a species, nature and native-rich hedge with later lawn. So the ecology report has a number of criteria and permissions to become forthcoming. That would be subject of a further detailed planning condition.
Thank you.
Anybody else wish to ask any question? Actually, if I'd have known, Councillor Gavesha, you're going to ask questions on trees, etc. I do happen to know who the gardener was there over 75 years ago. And he's still alive, actually. He's 102 and he's in children's care home. And he could have answered all your questions for you. Any other questions? No? Any other people in the audience? Mr. Luckett? No? Okay. Thank you very much. We'll move on to item 5, plans new. The first one is top of page 11, 222/S1717/4/. Jody?
Yeah, thank you. So this is an application to remove condition 6 of the original application. That was put in place to prevent overlooking of the neighbouring property Island Cottage. There's currently an appeal against an enforcement notice on the adjacent land, and we'll talk about that later on. So whilst there's not permission for the adjacent land, and the planning officer felt that it was appropriate for the condition in the first place, and I think it's appropriate to keep that in place. Thank you.
Would like to know? Councillor Gavesha?
I was confused on this particular planning application because the premise of it seemed to be I want this window put in because there's been a legally planning permission on the neighbouring property. I'm going to propose refusal of this because the condition was put on for reasons of not overlooking, full stop. Whether the property next door is illegally been built or not is completely and utterly irrelevant. Yeah, the planning condition 6 was put on to stop overlooking, and therefore we should uphold this. So I propose refusal of this
There was a second.
on those grounds.
Councillor Park, yeah? Okay. Wish to say anything?
No, I think it's there for a reason. It's irrelevant as to what's done next door. If there was nothing next door, I'd be tempted to say remove it.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak? No. Councillor Devonshire, you want to sum up or?
No, thank you.
Okay, all in favour of refusal? That's unanimous. That's a tick. Next one is P22/S1866/ listed building. Catherine Will, ready?
No comment.
No comment. Councillor Romans.
Proposal for acceptance.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's a
councillor
good thing to have, yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yep,
Why, I should have asked Jeff actually, but why
No,
is there the
you
blue?
can ask Jodie.
Jodie, why are we having a blue cap? What's it to commemorate?
Ken Arlott drank here.
Yeah, or where my dad used to. Yeah. What?
It's so that is, the history of Henry Society.
Ah, right, okay,
Hmm.
fine, thank you. I should like that. It just didn't say anywhere on the notes and I just wanted to know why.
Jeff, would you like to add on to that?
Yes, I'm surprised you didn't see it, Donna, on the planning.
I did look, but I just.
On the planning application, there is a drawing of the plaque and the wording that we want to put on it.
No,
Don't ask me to repeat it verbatim now,
No.
but it's all there.
I did look, but I obviously missed
It's
it.
been
Excuse me,
approved
through the
by
chair,
Wetherspoons and
Right.
they're happy with it.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Gallagher.
Yeah, I mean, the wording is that apparently a chap called John Lynn didn't actually save the Catherine Wheel. And it's there in perpetuity and he was a member of the Henry Society.
Right.
So that's why Jeff and the Henry Society wants to commemorate him saving it, basically.
Oh,
So that's the reason why.
Okay, we've got a motion for approval. All in favour? That's unanimous, thank you. Next one, P22/S1867/HH14 York Road.
Yeah, so this was within the conservation area, so it could impact the character of the area. There's no dormers on that side of the road, but there is one opposite on 19 York Road.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was looking at the drawing earlier and there are kind of two sections through this property. One shows one dormer and another one shows two dormers. So I think what we're talking about is an additional one at the front. Anyway. Councillor Park,
Approval.
is that seconded?
I'll second, yes.
Anybody else wish to speak? I'm against this actually. I think you're gonna, if you're going to open up a can of worms here, I think someone did mention there's one opposite. I haven't seen it. But I think if you start, so it's like King's Road, there's no dormers on the roadside, they're all at the back of the properties. And I don't think we should support a dormer going in the front. I think a Felix roof light is plenty. That's my view. Councillor Elliott.
Yeah, we have always resisted dormers there, and it does worry me that the problem is people want more lighting, and it offers that more so than does a Velux now. I don't know. I haven't made my mind up actually on it. I'm against the dormers in principle because it spoils the character of the original buildings. What did Henry Society say about them?
No comment.
They know
No
about
comment.
them.
Okay, Councillor Gavin.
Sorry, I'll still second, but I didn't realise it was on the front.
It's
So
on the rear.
Sorry?
Is it on the
It's on
rear?
the rear.
It's on the
I saw today shows two.
No, this is the plan.
It's definitely on the rear.
It's on the
I
rear.
think
Yeah.
it's one.
Yeah.
It's definitely on the rear.
As long as it's on
That's
the
what
back.
I thought.
It is on the rear.
Yeah, it's on the rear.
Sure.
Yeah, it says in
Proposed rear
advance.
elevation.
Well, let's be clear on this. The plans I looked at today show a dormer front and back.
No, because there is,
And that was the last one that came up.
there is no annex on the
Do you
front.
want to make it?
Yeah, let's.
Like it-
Okay, so
Yeah.
subject to a dormer not being on the roadside of your road, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
You happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I can support that. Okay, all in favour? Yes, unanimous, yeah. Next one, P 22/S1901/HH 11 Rupert Close.
Yeah, so this is a conservation area. Some concerns over the impact on the neighbours' immunity from the proposed balcony, but there's a proposed 1.7 metre high timber screen. So if this is conditioned, then that would be sufficient. There's no objection raised from number 10 Rupert Lane. So they're the closest to the property.
Okay, councillor Galasha.
Can I just ask a question? It says here in the summary, single-story rear extension. And when I looked at the plans, it was on the second floor.
That's the roof terrace with the, which I was referring to.
Yeah.
On top with
That's
the,
right.
it's not enclosed. It's a balcony with a screen along the side of it.
So does that roof terrace already exist?
No, this is.
This
part
is
of
the
that
whole point.
application,
Because, so therefore, single-story rear extension. Where is that on the plans?
It's with a flat roof on top of it.
Yeah,
So they're doing a single story extension
Single-story,
with the ability to access the flat roof of that.
So you can overlook people.
right,
Okay,
okay, thank you.
right, phase on. After all that, councillor Plant.
Approval, I don't think it does provide any overlooking loss of privacy.
Okay, fine. Seconder for that? No seconder. Okay, can someone give me a proposal then for refusal?
We'll see how it flies. Proposal for refusal on the grounds that I think the roof terrace is unneighbourly because of the overlooking into neighbours. So,
Okay, right, seconder for that, councillor Romans. Anybody wish to speak? No, okay, all in favour of refusal? Okay, that's carried, thank you.
No, the next door neighbour was in support of it.
Uh,
The next door neighbour was in support of it.
Next one, P 22/S1933/HH 39 Flower Cross Highland Farm.
and I guess this relates to dwelling within Highlands Park that was recently constructed. It's got a condition that prevents the conversion of the garage without planning permission. They have received pre-application advice, so, and the SODC say that they've had regard to the parking standards, so they can provide enough parking, which is 2 spaces, so they look at it favourably. Thank you.
Councillor Galasha.
I propose acceptance of this. I think we have rules in Henley about garage conversions, and it's provided there's enough parking, which there is. It shows 2 parking spaces at the front. So therefore, people should be allowed to make their homes further habitable. So proposal, yes.
Seconded councillor Plant.
I was going to speak against it, actually. I don't think they should be converting any garages. If it's too small, perhaps that's not the house they should choose. And but I just think that it looks messy when you start getting all the cars parked out the front. I'd like to see the garages used as they're meant to be. I think that's a plus that there are garages up there. So, support.
Anybody else wish to speak?
I'm sort of with you as well, especially in Highlands Park where it's just recently built and everything's just gone up and they're meant to look in a certain way. Maybe it's just me.
It's
Different when you're sort of around the lower part of the town where there is a space constraint.
yeah, it's obviously showing a bike store and a
So say what they were going to do with the garage.
Yeah, then God, what do you put on it?
With the garden.
Utility, it shows you half's utility, half's a bike store. The unfortunate thing is there's parking out on the driveway.
Yeah,
And it's fully covered with parking. And unfortunately, it's got a pre-app support from SODC as well.
so the only thing with it, if it's not being turned into like a living room or something that's habitable, then I don't really, you know, bike store. I'm sort of
You
more
can't
in
do
favour
it
of that.
next to bikes.
Exactly,
I could get a shed.
exactly.
I will
You
quote
can't get a
to that
shed
forever.
because it's really, no, no, no.
Through the chair.
Sorry.
One at a time.
It'll be exiled from the mountain bike group.
Councillor Cook, you wish to speak?
You could get a shed, well,
So you get a what?
a shed,
That's not the plans that we're looking at.
Can we vote?
a shed,
Shed.
shed,
Okay. What, for the utility?
or to put the bike in.
Yeah, it's got a utility as well.
So it's got a habitable room.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to who proposed this, which was councillor Gavin. Do you want to sum up at all? Okay, all in favour of the proposal? Right, that's carried. Next item, P22/S1964/HH, 4 to 6 Church Street. No comment. Councillor Gavin,
Propose acceptance.
seconded by councillor Plant. Anybody wish to speak? No, all in favour? Yeah, it's carried. Unanimous. P22/S1968/4/HH 454 Makins Road. No comment there. Councillor Gavin, actually, I'll go to councillor Plant first.
No, very straightforward application, approved.
Okay, councillor Gavin, second, yeah. Anybody wish to speak?
I just like the use of the word demonstration.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Right, all in favour? That's carried. Next one is P22/S1973/full, northern part of Leddard, which the speaker spoke on.
Yes, so the principle of single dwelling is acceptable in this location. I note that there is a significant variety of architectural buildings within the locality, comprising of more traditional housing to the north and simple bespoke development to the south of Peppard Lane. It's on a large plot. I just note that, yeah, as mentioned, there's multiple trees, and then to consider a condition to retain those at the front. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Gavin.
I'm going to propose acceptance. This, I think we've had the reasons for it happening. It's really nice to actually see a family moving in rather than developing it. So it's quite good. But yes, I think it will happen anyway, but conditions that the arboricultural report is implemented in full. So that's my proposal.
Second by councillor Plant. Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you want to speak?
No, I think as long as the screening, you've done a great job and the neighbour seems happy. I think as long as it can be done, then fantastic.
Anybody else wish to speak?
It's far enough up the hill, you know, you've not got as many people walking past. I do cycle up there a lot and it's nice up there. So, yeah.
Okay, all in favour? That's unanimous. Next item, P22/S1986/HH 25 Nicholas Road. Comment? Councillor Plant.
Yep, straightforward, proposed approval.
Second, yes.
Okay, anybody wants to speak on this one?
I think I've changed the one garden store. And version of the existing garden store.
Okay, all in favour? That's carried. On to the next page. Page 12. maybe? Yeah. P22/S1993/full, 1 Bellevue Road.
The principle of replacement dwelling is acceptable. It's not within the conservation area. I just note that there's conditions requested by the forestry officer. Thank you.
Councillor Clark.
Propose approval along with the conservation officer. They just need to do plant something to replace the plum they're taking out and put TPOs on the trees that are already in existence in the back of the
Forestry.
forest.
Councillor Gavin.
Seconded, the only comment is it's nice, it's a 1-for-1 development. And it's a nice design. It has, so it's good. Thank you.
I did have a neighbour had concerns over it, and the plans actually, but okay, they were fine, but I found them more sketches than plans. And it would have been handy to see an elevation at the front, you know, showing the bungalow and the other house next to it, which it didn't have that. It just had little sections on it. So I think that would have helped. There was a concern about the height of this building. Obviously, there's no measurements on it as well. But that was just a view of a possible objective. Anyway, so I've got a proposer and a seconder. Anybody else wish to speak on it? No? Okay, all those in favour? Next one, P22/S2031/HH 20 Western Avenue.
No problem.
Okay, Councillor Plant,
Propose acceptance.
seconded by Councillor Gavin.
Yeah.
Anybody wish to speak on this? No, okay, all those in favour? Unanimous. Next one, P22/S2142/HH 9 Gravel Hill.
No problem.
Comment, Councillor Clark.
I will happily bow someone that knows it better, but this is a like for like, pretty much replacement of something that was there before. So I see no reason other than to approve it. It doesn't seem detrimental to either of the neighbours, but if anyone knows that the building there before was drastically different to this one, then please share that information. Otherwise,
So you second it?
No, it's not.
Do you second it?
I will second it, but I do want to add a condition, because this is, I have not on this planning application, but I have been around the back of these houses because there were earlier applications that were problematic. It's a very cramped environment. It's not quite like for like because it's actually replacement of a shed with a garden room, so it's not quite. I think what we need, and also the back of the shed forms the boundary with the neighbour, but it's actually lower than the fence that's there. The condition I would like to add is that the room is not used for noise, for anything noisy. It's to preserve the privacy of a very cramped environment. So some wording of that effect, Jodie.
I'm sure it's going to create no more noise than a garden would otherwise. If you sit and chat to a friend in a garden room or not.
If it's a garden room though, and it has a stereo put in and a noisy washing machine, and stuff like that. So a very strong no noise in apartments.
Other than natural noise.
Yeah, I will second. Yes.
Councillor Hillier, then Councillor.
Yeah, this one worries me because it is unique in the fact that number 11 has unfairly got the tiniest little bit of garden. So every bit of space is precious and then only a bit to enjoy. Whereas the house next door can go further down and make noise at the far end if they like. But you're sort of trapped at number 11. And when it was a greenhouse, actually the best outlook was from the bathroom window when you look down into it. And because it was glass, you could see through and it was light and airy. But now you've got this dark building there, now a dark room, which is possibly more than a shed. And that is the big question mark, is what are they going to do with it? Because any noise, it is so precious, that bit of outdoor space to number 11. I would hate to see that actually committed. I don't think conditions are enough because they soon get waived. We've seen plenty of conditions put and they're not enforced. So I think stop it now. It's retrospective. He knew what he was doing. It was, he knew it was a listed building and it would need planning permission. And I don't think they would have actually wanted that, allowed that, if it had gone for permission in the first place.
I'll come back to you. Councillor Croft.
I agree with Lorraine, even putting it maybe even further away in the garden. But it seems to me that it is, they know that the neighbour next door has limited space, and it seems rather unfair. You know, they could have put it anywhere in that garden, but they chose to do it there because they know the neighbour doesn't have much space, and I think it's rather unfair.
Councillor Mark, I'll come back to you. Sorry, then I'll come back to you. Sorry.
I was going to say, yeah, I agree with the sentiment of your comments, but I don't believe they're reasons to subject to the planning application. If it was a listed building, they wouldn't even need, if it wasn't a listed building, sorry, they wouldn't even need planning permission to do this. At the end of the day, we all have gardens and outdoor spaces. Neighbours in their gardens can do whatever they want. My neighbours put a paddling pool 3 inches the other side of it, playing at the lovely sound of children playing in the afternoon. So it's an immaterial reason to object to the planning.
It's the retrospective permission that sort of annoys me, you know. It's a listed building, it's retrospective permission, and there is a principle that just, well, we'll put it up and then as well, keep it up. If the space is as small as you say, I'm sort of, you know, I'd be inclined to say, well, what do SODC say?
I'll come to that in a minute.
We'll find out at that stage.
Anybody else wish to speak? Okay.
Could I just add something else? These are medieval buildings, and the only that I know is older is actually the Bell Inn and the Chantry House, and they're pretty near in ages. They're incredibly old, so it's not just any house with a back garden that might have a swimming pool. These are actually medieval buildings.
It's not the building that's being
No,
affected.
but I get you mean, if it was a, you know what I mean, a modern house, but it's not. And so when you're looking at it being listed, you're looking at the entirety of the house, the inside and the outside, and that's why it should be refused.
Okay.
The only thing I'll add to that is that where I'm at a minute is similar, completely listed, and there's a lovely, well-mannered, presented outdoor bit at the back, and it does add to the effect. It makes it worth, it makes a nicer place.
That's
The
it,
biggest-
if it adds to
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
but if it
The question
doesn't,
there is, does
yeah,
this
does
add
it
enough
add?
to it? Yeah,
Okay.
and that's what I'm at.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good point.
You propose it, councillor Parkin, okay? Do you want to say something?
No, I think it's been said. I understand the sentiment of the noise, but it's not material.
Okay, all those in favour? 1, 2, against? Okay. So someone put me a proposal for refusal.
Yeah, I would propose refusal on the fact that it doesn't add anything, it doesn't contribute or enhance the setting of a listed building. And it should have been discussed prior and not be a retrospective application.
Do you have any planning reasons?
Well,
Go on, come on.
yeah, planning reason, well, I would say it's unneighbourly because there'd be the noise aspect.
Okay with that.
So you're just sticking with unneighbourly and
I
the
would,
noise?
I would stick with unneighbourly and the noise, but I think it's worth adding it doesn't enhance, which it should, because that is a planning reason. If you are putting anything there, it should contribute, enhance, but it doesn't add anything to it.
And it's out of
You're
character.
going to second that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it,
and it's out of character for that particular
yeah.
building.
Anybody speak? No, okay, all in favour for refusal? 4, that's carried.
Lots of games.
Next one, P22/S2165/HH, 23 Hamilton Avenue.
No objection, white timber windows are proposed with glazing glass to match existing.
Councillor Gavin.
Wholeheartedly approve this proposal for approval. Great care has been taken in the design. They're wood, as you said, and they are beautiful windows. Yes, that's it. Fine.
Seconded by Councillor Clark.
Sorry.
That's fine. I'm just slow.
You've got a white shirt.
Sorry, there was one further comment that I had, and I had it. If you looked at the side of the building, it looked like a set design because it's got window. There's lots of windows at different positions. Yeah, windows going up staircases. And it was lovely. Lovely. So proposal for lovely design. It would.
Tom, do you want to-
I was just going to say I approve.
is that okay? Okay, all in favour of approval? That's carried. And the final one, P22/S2174/4/24
So this already has been in planning commission, it expires soon, so they're just reapplying for the same proposal. So the principle's acceptable, thank you.
Was the application before similar to this?
Yeah.
Right then, councillor Crook.
I was going to propose refusal because there's concerns regarding flooding to the basement bedrooms and consider design totally out of character in the site isn't a conservation area and the Chilterns AOMB. Did they not put forward a proposal before, several years ago?
Got approved, yeah.
Did it?
Okay, do we have a second for a refusal? No. Councillor Plant.
I thought it's a straightforward reapplication, so approval.
I will second that. One further comment. We know where this is going, but they're going to build foundations that are strong enough to whack the second story on as soon as.
We can consider that.
But on the plans, it looks a bit weird because there's a house and a midget house. Anyway, second it.
Hobbit house.
I think it looks awful. I think I really do.
Yeah.
There's only a few houses along there, but it's amazingly out of character with anything there. And if you said it somewhere before, I don't know who voted for that before. I hope it wasn't me. But I won't be supporting that today. Anyway, all in favour of approval? 34. That's carried. Okay, very well. Next item 6, objections and call-in applications. Got that right? Yeah.
Yeah, do we want to send anyone to talk about the shed?
The
Send anyone to talk about the shed? Lorraine or Donna?
No, well, I'm already there.
I can't call
No, I don't know.
it. Okay, we'll leave that then. Something else? Somebody else? No. Item 8, appeal decision Town and Country Planning Act 1990. Item 8, which is on page. Oh, did I? Oh, decision notice. Well, that's just noted anyway. Yeah. Item 8, appeal decision Town and Country Plan Act 1990. Right, the first one is land adjoining Island Reach. This is part of the garden. It doesn't read very well, but I think we should definitely.
Yeah.
What's your view? Is it compliant?
No, I'm just going to set out what happened. So yeah, this is a subdivision of the land to form a separate planning unit. This was considered not to be lawful by SADC earlier this year. And then an enforcement notice has been given to the owner. And this is against that notice. So it's just whether the committee want to make comments, because we haven't done so on the notice itself.
I think we should support SADC. It's nice to see an enforcement actually taking place, and we don't want others to follow.
You do a couple of paragraphs on that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That's all agreed. Top of the page on page 3.
69.
This is the one we've looked at before, or were we? 16 Reading Road, Henley on Thames. My view, we should definitely object to this, to the inspector. Amazingly, at one time it did have planning permission. How it got it is beyond me. It really is, but it did. It's just. Anyway, so I think we should definitely object to this, send objection to the inspector. Views? Yeah,
Agreed. Yeah.
okay, all agree with that? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's unsuitable to expect any new people to live there, as well as the impact on existing neighbours. It's not suitable accommodation for anyone.
Yeah, just to mention the SODC, their reasons for refusal went further really than our response, so maybe it's worth adding in those extra points to our comments.
What did they add loosely?
They just went into more detail about loss of daylight sunlight and being a bit more specific about their concerns.
Okay, I'll agree with that one. The other one is Crossroad. This was for on Reading Road, Ship Lake. This is for 20 dwellings, but that's been withdrawn. But there is an appeal for 11, which takes place on the 5th of July. If anybody would like to appear there.
Henley Rugby.
Yeah, a Henley Rugby Club. I'm not sure. I would prefer to leave this to Ship Lake and Harpston to go. I might go along there. I know it's not in our proposed neighbourhood plan, but I think the local councils, local parish councils should go to this one and fight this. That's my view. I'm open to debate on the issue.
I'm in agreement. It's definitely out of Henley. We've given our support in the sense that we don't want it because it's not part of the neighbourhood plan, etc. Blah blah blah. So yeah, no, it's got to be Harpston and Ship Lake. Take up the cudgels.
And I think you've got passionate councils there, so, you know, they would be glad to go along, really, and talk about this. It's not that they, you know, don't take much interest, they're very committed parishes, yeah.
Will the society go there, Jeff?
I was intending going along, yes.
And speaking, or just,
Possibly not, but I need to have another look at
okay,
what's on. We're certainly against it.
sorry, Jeff.
Yeah, there might be a decision in terms of actually the impact of the plan, someone speaking on
Yeah,
with regards to that, because it could have implications on the neighbourhood plan. There might be things that come up during the hearing. I can attend and just see what happens. If something does come up,
okay,
then I can speak on neighbourhood planning issues.
yeah. Okay, we'll do that. We'll pop along and see what happens. Yeah. Item 9, Oxfordshire County Council Wildlife and Control Act 1981, section 53, application for definitive map modification order. I'm not sure where this has come from. There's a chap called John Hill from Rotherfield Parish Council, and I spoke to him a year, 18 months ago about all these different footpaths that are around here, which he seemed to think that some of them have just been made by motorbikes over a period of time. So I suppose this is just asking now for clarification, which it is, on do we support the proposals that are in front of us this evening, which is for an extra footpath, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on, who wants to go first?
Can I speak to it?
Yeah.
I think it's probably mountain bikes rather than motorbikes.
Oh, these are footpaths. No respecting mountain bike with right footpath.
I have seen
Come
them.
back with
I have seen them, and then they tear down the Fairmile. Sorry.
The famous road, that's okay.
This is for Lambridge
I
Wood
know,
Road.
yeah, I know.
Yeah. Lars, would you like to reply?
I have seen them.
I know these paths very well from running. They do. Just like to clarify. No, I think we should support them. top of Lambridge Road, you go through that little gate, the one turns off left and brings you back towards Badfield Golf Club, and the other one takes you straight out. So I think we should support them. They already exist and they're well trodden, not ridden paths.
They are horse people. They are horse people.
Perhaps we could put a sign up like they have down at Lebanon.
No,
Priority
second.
given to site to.
No, because that's a mixed use path, these are just
Do you want to
footpaths.
say something?
Okay,
Sorry, Jody wishes to say
I
something.
just wanted to point out that they're in favour of one of the footpaths and not
Yeah,
in support of the
They
other
wanna
one.
take-
So
which one
it's
don't
probably-
they want?
the one going up the hill.
I thought the red
So
one they
A
wanted.
to F is the one, they want to remove A to F and just replace it with A to J, isn't it right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry, can we
Yeah, go on, yeah,
clarify that again? So A to F,
They want to remove that.
we want to remove,
sorry.
and A to J, tick.
Yes. That's what I think.
Where does-
Hold on, Donna, could you just calm down a wee bit? Thank you.
Okay.
Right, let's just have Jody on this one. Oh, so who voted?
I have read it a few weeks ago. That they were definitely only going to, they were only proposing to adopt one of the.
Yeah.
One of the paths, the other one they're not proposing to, but I mean, I would imagine, well, I don't know.
So Tom, you're saying they want to,
That's what it appears to me, that they want to adopt the route 2, which is the A to J, have that shown on the map. But they don't want A to F to be shown as a footpath on the map,
okay,
even though there is a track there, and there has been a track there for a long time, and it's
Yeah.
not motorbikes, it's horses.
Right.
okay. Do you,
Yeah, so I just want to know that that's, if the committee want to keep both of them.
Yes.
I want to keep that.
Keep those.
so, right, okay, so someone then give me a proposal, what they would like, Lawrence.
Well, the claimed paths, both Route 1 and Route 2, are already well used, so I think both should be kept.
I'm inclined to even say, if you look at the BR26 going all the way up to FP25, we have this a lot, where you've got a bridleway that just goes to nowhere. And then you get to somewhere and then it turns into a footpath. And that's a really confusing position. So I'd actually prefer to see them put in the bridleways.
So you,
I would prefer to see them put in as bridleways.
but
Yeah, I don't know.
we're not being asked, are we?
We'd have to do that at another point.
Okay.
You can raise that as an agenda or something.
Right, have you proposed that we,
Yeah,
support
but they're
A
both
to
well
G
used.
and A to F?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're two
Right,
parts.
So I'm a second for that.
Second.
Councillor Cavajal, right. Right, now let's start a debate, Donna.
In favour, because it encourages people to walk.
For both of them.
Yes,
Okay, thank you. Anybody else wish to speak? Councillor Cavajal.
Well, provided, you're saying provided there's a sign saying no HGVs, no.
no 4x4s.
No Concord landings.
Yeah.
No fighter
No,
pilots.
what I just said, down the river,
No battery acid usage.
they have a sign up down the river saying.
But that's just-
Okay, well,
No, no, no.
okay, right, okay, so we've got proposal seconder to support both A to G and A to F. Okay,
Yeah.
all those in favour? That's unanimous. Right, number 10, to consider response to Oxford and Vale of White Horse joint local plan.
Yeah, so this is South Oxford and Vale of White Horse. They're put together to work on a new local plan up to 2041. Whilst they've got a plan in place at the moment, there is up to 2031 and South Oxford's 2035. Councils must cover a 15-year period, so this will cover the extra years up to 2041. At the moment, this is looking at high-level issues affecting the area, and these are grouped into 7 main areas, including reducing carbon emissions, nature and landscape, transport, heritage, etc. The next stages they'll be considering more detail in terms of housing numbers, distribution, infrastructure, and looking at the other policies. There's a number of questions that I did send around to the committee. I'm not going to go through all of them. If you've got general comments, then let me know. Otherwise, I can fill it out in terms of responses made previously by the committee.
Yeah, I did have an email from the chairman. And she was more concerned on housing numbers, which Jody just said that'll be the next, be the next stage. Anyway, who would like to? Councillor Hart.
I was going to say, I think as a group, we can have a more meaningful discussion at the next time with each individual one. Whereas this is where of my station, and I can't get the website to work anyway, just as an issue.
I know we're part of the a joint council over there, but I'm not really in favour of a joint plan. I think it's going to get too big. We've got a specific area here, and you're going to have to change probably a lot of policies to suit both areas. And the question is it all about changing the plan to get the numbers down, or is it all about changing the plan to add some policies? And I think they're going to try and put the numbers down, but to pay £1 million to come up with a new policy, a new plan, and the other one's only a year and a half old. I'm not a supporter of it. I think it's wasting the public's money personally, because I think we've got a plan in place and we should see that one through. But we have what we have. Councillor.
Yeah, and I can say I don't support this either as a joint, because we're not going to have that level of interest in South Oxfordshire of the Vale and what developments there and where all the knowledge. And equally, they're not going to do likewise. And I think it's very important. I mean, the whole point of the local plan was locality. And so we should be commenting on what's in South Oxfordshire, not commenting on what's in the Vale. I don't see how the two can gel together. I understand the movement to have the both together in other aspects when you can save money with joint services and things like that, but certainly not with planning issues. I think that, we know our areas in South Oxfordshire, they know theirs in the Vale, and to have others comment it is not the right way forward.
Councillor Gavishaw.
I don't quite agree. But I can absolutely understand where you're coming from. I mean, at the debate which we had at South Oxfordshire, I mean, it was made very, very clear that in fact the plans could diverge. And I think we're at the stage where, and it was to save money, where there are headline policy themes on build quality, on environment, on place, on sustainable transport, that Vale and SODC can work together on and produce the global things. So the global things for the whole area, I think we can put in place. But I agree with you, at some point, there will be divergence because SODC's issues are very different from the Vale issue. And certainly I know that you, Lorraine and Ken and Kelly and I will be saying at SODC, right, the diversion starts here.
Yeah.
And we'll move it forward. Yeah. Okay.
And I think equally they'll want that at the Vale of Whitehorse. I think they probably feel the same.
They're less vociferous, aren't they?
Yeah, we're loud.
So we just have the conversation through.
So speaking through the chair.
Okay, that's fine.
We are loud.
Yeah.
What would you like to hear?
If you wish to
Okay.
respond to the consultation.
Yes. If there are any further comments to the consultation, get them to Jody, and then you can write a report and send it off.
Yeah,
Okay.
send them this week for me and then I can do that.
Okay, we're happy with that? Yep.
Yep.
Marvellous. The next item 11, review of South Oxfordshire Community Infrastructure Levy draft charging schedule. Basically, do we want to be involved in this, or are we happy with SODC just going forward with it? That's all.
Yes.
Sorry, give me a nudge.
So, yeah, SODC have put all the representations they've received together and put together a summary of the main issues. I've had a look at the statement of modifications and it's pretty minor. There's only 3 changes proposed, so I wouldn't consider it necessary to be involved at the examination, but your response would be good. Thank you.
Councillor Gamble.
Through you, Chair.
Well, Councillor Gamble.
Are they actually changing the still levy, the amount of money, or is it just modifications?
It's just more modifications. to
Oh,
the
okay,
scheme.
because that's the big hook, is the amount of money we get. And so.
It's not all about the money.
It is, well, it is for the,
It is
for
now.
infrastructure. I mean, it's 150 over here and it's 320 across the river.
Yeah,
So there should be
they
a
need to
big change to that.
put it on.
But if it's just the regs, then fine.
Okay, so we're happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Super seal.
Super seal. Super seal.
Yeah.
That's Super seal.
No,
The mythical super seal.
no,
Okay.
don't
Right,
utter
item
those
number-
words.
Leave it in
But
jest.
I was saying,
Leave it in jest.
Right, item 12, progress report for applications called in. The only one I've got on here is 23 Hayward's Close, which was given planning permission. Problem we had there was a big concern of town council about the footpath that went through the side. But they did have permission to change that a number of years ago. So our objection there was pretty worthless, unfortunately. And we had a site visit there, a good site visit, and I think the planning officer, laid it out fairly good, that it would be a job to refuse the application. So that's been given planning permission, and I think it'll be okay. I've got nothing else on there on the progress report. That finished.
Yeah.
Other than that, thank you all for attending. Hope you've enjoyed the evening. I'm sorry it took so
Well,
long.
I would just like to say that, thank you, Chair.